Well, welcome back. We need to quickly also consider the aspect of approximation. As we can see here, approximation too is another form of estimation. For example, if someone has given me 10 naira 40 kobos, I may see it as approximately 10 naira to the nearest naira, that the person has given me 10 naira. After all, in the country today, we know that it is hard or virtually impossible to find something that you can buy with a kobo. So here we have different forms of approximation that I want to quickly consider. We have the aspect that we call significant figures. We have nearest 10, nearest 100, nearest 1,000. We have nearest 1,000. We have whole number. We have decimal places. We have we have talked about significant figure and so on. So I want to quickly run through them. Now, the first one, if they ask you to approximate 546 to the nearest 10, so you write your approximation sign. So we have to the nearest 10 means that you first ask yourself which of these three digits here, occupies or it has the place value of 10, among these digits. At least, thank God we have done a place value in our previous video, in one of our previous videos. So if you look at this one, to the nearest 10, you know this 6 occupies the unit position, while this 4 occupies the 10th position, while this 5 occupies the 100th position. So the 10th position is this 4 now. That means if I stay on this 4, I would have written 5, 4 and turn every other thing to 0. But before you do that, since this 4 is occupied the nearest 10, occupied the 10th position, you now check the next digit, which is this 6. Any digit that is up to 5 means from 5 to 9, we say we round it up. That is, we turn it into 1 and add it to the digit we are standing on. This 4 now, for example, to the nearest 10 here, we are standing on 4 here. The next digit, which is 6, is mature enough to be rounded up. So we turn it into 1 and add it to this. This one will now become 5, 5 now. Then in place of every other digit, like this one now, this 6, you put 0 there. So it will be 5, 5, 0. That means if someone has given you 546 naira, you may approximately see it as you have been given 550 because it's nearest to 560. For B part, we have this 72,986 to the nearest 100. Which digit occupies the 100, position here, whose place value is 100 there? So we can see it's this 9. This is where we have 900, is this 9. So since it is this 9, that means you have to write 9 2, then with this digit, if it is still 9, then the remaining 2 digits will be 0. So, but before you do that, you have to check the next digit. If it is not up to 5, you round it down. Round it down means turn it to 0. That means you don't add anything to this 9. It will still be 729. But because the next digit is up to 5, of course, more than 5, this 8, you round it up, turn it into 1 and add it to this 9. So that means when you now have 729, and you're adding 1 to it, this one will become 10, and you write 0, you keep 1. The remaining 1, you carry it over to 2. Add it to 2, 3. That is 730. So this becomes 730. Then the remaining 2 digits there, I told you the remaining 1, since all of them are whole numbers, we turn them to, since the number is a whole number rather, so we turn the whole of these 2 digits into 0. So it is 0, 0. That is to the nearest 100. Now this number would have ended with just 2 zeros. But for the fact that the number, when we rounded up, the number we added 1 to was 9. And you know 9, that will make it 10. That means we have to carry 1 over. That is why you have 3 zeros there. So the next one here, if you look at this, 4.5169 to the nearest thousandth. As we have thousand, we have thousands. As we have 10, we have tenths. Tenth means we already see it under place value system, that we refer to the fraction part of any decimal. The fraction part, that is those digits behind the decimals. So for this one now, to the nearest thousandth, this 4 here is units, this 5 here is tenths, 1 here is hundredths, 6 here is thousands. So why this 9 is 10,000? So to the nearest thousandth is this 6. So you would have written 4.516, but you have to check the number after. If it is up to 5, round it up and add it. So since this one is 9, it's up to 5, round it up, add it to this. So it will now give us 4.517. So in place of the remaining digit, which is this 9, it is 0. Unfortunately, when we write decimal, any 0 coming after, and you don't have any non-zero digits behind it, then such 0, we discard it, we ignore it. So our value will simply be 4.517. That's the result. Now, for the D part, we have to the nearest thousand. This one is thousand, not thousand. So this one is the whole number part. That's where we'll find the digits. To the nearest thousand, you first ask yourself, which digit occupies the place value of 1,000? So this 4 is unit, this 6 is 10, this 6 again is 100, while 1,000 is this one. That's the one that occupies the 1,000 places. So what do we do now? We check the next digit. Since it is up to 5, then turn it into 1 and add it to this. So it will now give us, you add it to that one, it will be 2. So in place of every other digit, it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, point, those 2 digits after this 2 digits after decimal 2, 0, 0. But I told us that 0 after decimal, we don't reckon with it. So it will simply be 2,000 to the nearest thousand. Then for E, 614 correct to 2 significant figures. 2 significant figure means that you have to count. 2 significant figure means count the first 2 non-zero digits. Once you count the first non-zero digits, any 0 you see next, they are eligible to be counted. So here now, to 2 significant figure, you count this, you count this digit, this digit, you count 2 digits. That's 1, 2. We have counted 6-1 now. We would have written 6-1. We now check the next digit. If it is something that you want to, you can add, you can round up. But 4 is not up to 5, so we round it down to 0. That means nothing is to be added to this 6 or to this 1. So it will now be 6-1. In place of every other digit, you put 0 there. So we have, this is a 610 to 2 significant figure. For this one, correct to 2 significant figures under F. You see, this 0 here is not a significant figure. You can't give me 0 naira and you say you have given me something. So it's not significant, it's not important. So we don't reckon with it. Before you start counting, before you can even think of counting 0, you must have counted the first non-zero digit. That means if you want to count 2 significant figures now, we start from this 6 now. But because we have counted, once you have, for example, if you have 2 now and you put 0 behind it, becomes 20. If you put another 0 again, it becomes 200. Put another 0 again, it becomes 2,000. you can see that those zero you are adding after you already have non-zero digits, they make the value of the number grow bigger. So that means they are significant. But you cannot say, you cannot give me zero now, begin to add zero to it. 0, 0, 0, 0. It's still zero. So it's not significant. That is why we choose not to count this zero. We can start accounting from this 6. So two significant figures, we have 1, we have 2. After counting the first non-zero digit, any zero you see, you can count them now. They become significant. So you have 1, 2. We now check the next digit. It is this 6. So we round it up and add it to this. So it will become, that means we now have 0.061. In place, other two digits there. So their places, put 0 there. So by the time you want to write this value, I told you after decimal, any zero we see when non-zero digits have ended. So you discard them. So this one will give us 0.061. We don't write those zeros that end, that stay at the back, because no non-zero digit is after them. So for this one, 7.601, correct to the nearest whole number. So for this one, nearest whole number means you just check the whole number part. You know, if you look at this decimal, we have the whole number part and we have the fraction part. Fraction part is just the one after the digits after the decimal. So whole number part is just this 7 here. So since they said to the nearest whole number, then we want to consider only the whole number alone. We would have gone ahead to write this 7, but you must check the next digit after. If it is something that is fit to be rounded up, then you do so. Since this 6 is up to 5, then we round it up, turn it into 1, add it to this. This one will simply be 8, since you are considering the whole number part alone. For this one, 8.372. 8.372, correct to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Decimal places means you start counting after the decimal point. So this one now to 2 decimal places. That means after this decimal point here, we count 1, 2, and whatever you can count there, whether it is 0 digit, whether it is a non-zero digit or it is still 0 digit, you count it. So far it comes after decimal point, you just count. That one does not have anything to do with something significant. It's not significant. So decimal places, can't do 2 digits after decimal. So after this decimal, you say 1, 2. That means we would have written from 8.37 now, but you must check the next digit after where you stop. Since you say you come from here, 1, 2. So that 2 after, check it. Is this something you can round up or down? We round it down because digit 2 is not up to 5. So round it down, it becomes 0. That means you now have 8.37. You know, after you say 0 there, but 0 after the decimal is negligible. We now have 8.37. This will give us 8.37. And lastly, for today, we have to 1 place of decimal. We want to approximate this number, 0.0546 to 1 place of decimal. That means after the decimal point, you count the first digit. Look at this digit now. Despite the fact that it is 0, since it's the first digit after the decimal, we count it like that. This one is different from significant figure. Suppose it's significant figure now. This 0 we say is not significant to be counted first when you have not counted any non-zero digit. So, but for decimal place, we count it. So for 1 decimal place, we say after this decimal, we say 1. Digit 0 is the first digit. You now check the next digit, which is 5. It's fit to be rounded up. Turn it into 1, add it to this. So you simply have 0.1. 0.1, because when you add 1 to 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So in place of all these 3 digits now, it is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But in that case, that is simply 0. Like we said before, 0 after non-zero digit, 0 after decimal rather, 0 in the decimal part when non-zero digit is not behind them. So we discard them. They are not That means 0.1000000 is same thing as 0.1. So that is why we always have, if you say 5.00000 is same thing as 5. But those 0 after decimal, we discard them. All right, this is the end of our class. I want you to quickly take this exercise. So our listener, I want to encourage us, as we are benefiting from this video, I know our children are benefiting from this video. Let's try as much as possible to like the channel, subscribe to it, and comment. So in order to promote the channel, God bless us. Thank you.